Hey, it's Jamie, my Irish radio. Make it your Irish radio. And Rich Finn is doing exactly that. We're going to have a conversation today with Rich Finn from Vox Hiberniae Seattle. And we have, first off, we're going to figure out the name because I always have such a hard time saying it. So he's going to explain the name, and then we're going to get into his show coming out of Seattle there, and his love of music, my love of music, and everything my Irish radio and Irish music. Thanks for being with us today. Let's get into it with Rich.
I can't. I always choke on the word.
It's Vox Hiberniae, right?
Hiberniae.
Vox,
All right.
Hiberniae Seattle. Yeah, people go Hiberniae and everything. Hiberniae is the singular version of the Latin word for Ireland, where it was Hibernia was what the Romans characterized it, and so in the Latin vernacular. And in my introduction that I'll do in the first show, the whole premise of the name came from while I was researching the name, a name for a Facebook page 10 years ago, coming up in February. And there were, at that time, there was probably 40 or 50 of them out there, and they all, as I call them, had pretty much plastic patty vernaculars, myshamrock.com or something, something, Lucky Charms or whatever. And I'm like, okay, it's not really what I kind of wanted to have something that was serious, and I wanted, and I had all this news feed coming into my Facebook page.
All right.
And of course, I was sharing it to my Facebook people, and someone kind of pointed out and said, "Hey, Rich, not everyone likes Irish." And I said, why not? And so they said, you could actually make your own Facebook page separate from your personal Facebook page.
All right.
Being a boomer, I said, really?
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, okay. Oh, I went in there and I saw, a title. What do I want to call it? And so I'm an amateur historian, especially when it comes to Irish history and European history. So I started reading some of the translated versions of St. Patrick's Confessio, which is one of his two writings. I think they still have around. And in it, he tells the story about his capture by Irish pirates from the Strathclyde area of Wells, which is now southern Scotland, and his 6 years of captivity and how he escaped. And then when he made it back home to his village, he started having dreams about Ireland and about the Irish people bringing him a scroll. And the scroll itself, according to his own words, was Vox Hiberniae in the singular, meaning, he was the voice of the Irish, not Hibernian or anything else that would be in plural or in the sense of the noun as the country. But so it kind of confuses people, but I saw that and just kind of went ring a ding ding. I like that.
All right. And then there it is.
Well,
Vox Hiberniae.
Yes and no.
No.
So Vox Hiberniae in itself has a copyright. There is a group in Ireland called Vox Hiberniae, and they're kind of a religious group, but they're singers, and they're an ensemble. And so I went, I guess I can't use that. So I went into the U.S. Patent Office to see what else was out there, and what wasn't there was Vox Hiberniae Seattle.
Oh, fair enough.
So I kind of brought it on home at that point. I said, and here we are 10 years later.
And there it is, Vox Hiberniae Seattle. And that is what is kicking off here on My Irish Radio. So you're going to start a show, right? You're going to be doing a weekly show. It's going to be, tell me about your show. But hang on. Before we do that, Rich, tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Well, I was no problem. It was pure trauma. Uh,
Right on.
you can see it on my face, obviously.
Yeah, right,
So,
right.
so my childhood, I was born in Bellevue, Washington, which is probably about 5 miles outside of Redmond, Washington, and if it weren't for Microsoft, nobody would know where Redmond, Washington was. It was
Okay.
at that time literally a one-horse town. It was the early '60s. The neighborhood I grew up in was, I want to say, 98% Boeing employees, the Boeing aircraft manufacturer.
Mhm.
My dad was a planning engineer for that company for 36 years.
Right on.
So back in the early '60s, a lot of people were finding new homes, and Boeing was helping to build a lot of new homes on what we call the East Side. It's the East Side of Seattle. Boeing's had 3 manufacturing plants in the area, in Seattle and in Renton, Washington, up in Everett, where they built the 747s. So my dad picked Redmond as kind of like the nucleus of any routes he would have to go to any specific aircraft manufacturing and distribution center. So
Okay.
I grew up in a one-horse town. We were pretty much a nuclear family. I grew up in a mixed family, as it were. Half the family back in the day was Catholic, and the other half was Presbyterian.
Oh, fun.
So I went to my share of masses and my share of Presbyterian Sunday school. Some holidays were interesting. I can remember my grandparents, my grandfathers would say wouldn't talk to each other, but the ladies went into the kitchen and they
Sure.
cooked whatever needed to be cooked, whether it was turkey or ham or whatever. And
Fair play.
so the holidays were good. And so I would say it was a pretty much a nuclear family. It was myself and my sister and my mom and dad.
So the Irish, the being the into the culture, when did that come to you? And was that something as your whole life, as a teen, as a
Yeah.
young adult?
All my
When
life,
did
yeah.
that come in? And, yeah, was it a family thing? Is it a you thing?
My grandfather Finn and grandfather Barry,
Well, there you are.
both were wanted us grandkids, my sister and I, to learn about the Irish folklore, the mythology, the stories that was passed down to them from probably their father or grandparents. It seemed to be the role of the grandfather in the family to introduce it to the children, and so I learned about Finn McCool and Cuchulainn and all the other mythological races and stories about Ireland at a very young age.
Wow.
And sharing these stories with, like, I was in Cub Scouts and stuff like that, I got some really odd stares because they just weren't the stories. My sister didn't embrace it as much as I did, and I just as soon as I learned how to read, I was getting books about Irish mythology and folklore from the library. So I've always embraced it, and my parents were very much into St. Patrick's Day was a very big thing in the family, and it's just something that's been with me all my life.
Okay. And so this is the 10th year anniversary of the Vox Hiberniae Seattle. And so what is that, and what is the radio show going to be?
So Vox Hiberniae Seattle was originally, and still is basically a information portal regarding all things Irish and the Pacific Northwest Irish. I kind of mentioned before that my news feed and my regular Facebook page is just filled with things that are happening currently in Ireland. A lot of people were posting a lot of historical information, and you didn't have to rent a book or buy a book or whatever. It would just be a short couple paragraphs, but intriguing information, or at least I felt was intriguing information, and that I wanted to share. So I would have I was like an editor. I got to cherry pick these pieces of information that were coming into me, whether it was through Facebook or other social medias, and then share it to my Facebook page. And people started to like it. I started out, a couple hundred, and then it went to a couple thousand, and then it went to 10,000, 20. And and at the same time, because I posted my email address, I started getting a lot of feedback from people. 98% of it was really, really good feedback. Then there was a small percentage that people just don't like things or whatever, and they certainly let me know. But God said, "Let there be," block that, and it was blocked. And
keep it positive, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't make everyone happy all the time, and
Sure.
that wasn't really my goal. My goal is to feed information, pick it out and put it out there, and like it, take it as this, take a snapshot, or crumble up and throw it in the garbage. And then I started meeting people or getting people that wanted to contribute, Irish writers and musicians and whatnot over in Ireland. And so my wife and I, we go back there about every 2 or 3 years. And back in the early days, in the double aughts, when I first took my son there, it was in 2004. We would do the rental car in the bed and breakfast type thing. And then later expanded to renting a caravan, or basically an RV, and small RV, albeit, well,
fit on them roads. You got to be.
Yeah, you got to think about that, But we would see other people out there with some pretty large equipment, but you're kind of restricted if you get the little larger.
Yeah.
But we get a 2-sleeper with the bathroom and 2-burner stove and a fridge, and it's usually a Fiat or a Mercedes. They make those for, but it's your bed and breakfast and your rental car all rolled up into one.
There you go.
And it's the way to go. So I would meet these people online, as it were. They would contribute stories and articles. One of them is Martin Gleason out of Limerick. And the great thing about this is now we go over there and I get to meet the people that I interact with, between Ireland and the States. And that is a plus. Yeah. And it just, going out to dinner with them, raising a pint with them, and I really enjoy it. So that is, and Vox Hiberniae is also is heavily involved with a lot of the Irish clubs that are over here in the Seattle area. I'm getting more involved in the Portland, Oregon, our neighbor to the south, the state to the south there.
Okay.
They've got a couple Irish clubs that I've paid for membership, and since my job takes me down to that state every once in a while, I'll have an opportunity to get more involved with their activities. But up here in the Seattle market, I'm deeply involved with the Irish Heritage Club, and I sponsor a lot of their events. So I'll take money out of my pocket and give them, $500, maybe more, to help promote their particular event. The reciprocating side is I get some free advertising. My logo gets to be put up on the advertising, but I get to participate and help set up or do whatever. But you're more intimately involved instead of just going there for a free Guinness and a nice meal. And so, and March is coming up here, and we've got a lot of things going on in the Seattle area for St. Patrick's Day and Irish Month.
Yeah, the high holy days, as it were, right?
It is. It's my Christmas. I'll take St. Patrick's Day over Christmas any day. So when you pinged me about your radio platform, my irishradio.com, it made me stop and think that, hey, maybe this is where the next step is for Vox Hiberniae, where I'm just not putting out this information on a social media page. I'm now putting out this information, to a different form of communication. And so the show I'm looking at to be is part music, part talk, and that talk isn't just chatter. It's I'm not going to have two people talking it up like a daytime talk show on an AM radio. Without there's no politics. It would be basically wrapped around the local talent and the local Irish businesses that are in the Washington, Oregon demographics, as it were. And, so I'm already talking with several of the local bands that are in the area to do some interviews with them and be able to, and we're talking 5 to 10 minute segments of where they're talking about themselves, how they got started, what inspires them, what makes them go, what makes them tick. And then I'm going to hopefully be able to play. I've got some tracks I've saved, play their music, play a nice triple shot or a shamrock shot, as I like to call it.
I like it.
Three, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But that being said, so hey, here, one of the great bands around here is a band called the Stout Pounders, and they're very popular and very busy. So it's hard nailing them down. But I've got a bunch of their recordings, so I'll be playing some of their music on our first show. And there's several other bands out there that have recordings, and I'll be sharing that as well. But I want to kind of do the interview, introduce them. Here's what they have to offer, put them out on the air, and share a piece of our community out to the larger community.
And I love that word has come up a bunch of times so far, community, and that's exactly why I kind of kicked this off. Is we have in the Metro Detroit area here, we got a really vibrant, Irish Celtic communities. We got the Gaelic League downtown and the Hibernian Hall over in Livonia, and there's a lot of there's stuff on the east side, the Father Monahan KFC, and they do the Nova Scotia dances there. It's pretty vibrant. And then we do a Motor City Irish Fest. It's a big summer 3-day festival with bands, and
I've heard of that.
It's we got Allie the Piper coming in.
Oh, see, I've been following her recently, and I'm thinking, wow, what a talent.
I just booked an interview with her, so I'm like stoked. I'm like really excited that her guy got back to me, and we got it set for February 16th. And then so after February 16th,
it's my birthday.
Look for the interview with Allie coming up about. She's got a whole tour coming up. She's hitting Michigan in the middle of the summer, but she's doing a whole tour. So find out all those dates.
She's not coming to Seattle. I'm heartbroken.
No. So yeah,
neither are the High Kings. That's another band I really like. I saw them once in Seattle back in 2007, I want to say, and they haven't been back since. And they keep hitting areas like your town and the East Coast.
All right, it's fun. It's fun to share, and it's fun to share ideas, and that's the community. It's like I just want to be able to give platforms like this to other communities that may not have it, to build their own, and to branch out nationally, and to. Hey, there's other communities. So if you're traveling, you might know a place to go, or if it's just you servicing Seattle and the areas, people are just a little more connected and easier to find the things. So it's all building the communities, and I'm glad you're doing it. All right, so music. Let me ask you, what 3 things I want to know. What is your favorite Irish song? What is your favorite Irish band or performer? And then what's been your favorite show? So what's your favorite song? I know it's tough all the way around. What's your favorite
song is a Finbar Fury song called The Lonesome Boatman.
Okay.
And done on the tin whistle. It is I don't know. There's something, it's haunting.
All right.
And I love listening to it when I'm actually over there and I'm driving and I've got it on the car stereo, or the caravan, and just you're going through the hills or the valleys, whatnot, and you got that tin whistle going. There's something that kind of raises the hair on the back of my neck. So that is by all time my favorite Irish. And it's not, I've yet to hear any words to it, so I don't think there's any lyrics, but it's my number one.
All right, fair play. I gotta have to dig that one up and add it into the mix for sure. And then, so who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist, it would probably be, God, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of mixing up with the Tommy Makem up to Sinead O'Connor and I'm probably going to have to throw and it's going to probably have to be Bono from U2, because I've been a fan of them since the early 80s when they first came out onto the American scene, at least. And I couldn't believe that they were Irish when I first heard them, but look at Thin Lizzy, so I would have to go Bono would be the man behind the scenes there.
All right. I got a Bono story. Well, my wife has a Bono story. I don't have a Bono story. But they came through Detroit when they're on their first tour. and there's this bar in Detroit called Harpo's, and it's deep in the city, and it's this rock and roll bar, and they were actually opening for a Detroit band. They were playing, in tandem with a Detroit band, and U2 went on first, and it didn't go over well.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like, so it was my wife. It was she was dating the one of the guys in the band at the time, and then she went backstage and was hanging out with U2 all night, and it's like she goes, "Screw those people! They have no idea. You guys are amazing." And she just partied with them all night at Harpo's way back in 80, 81 or whatever it was. Crazy.
Oh, this is before she met you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you didn't you didn't clarify that. I'm thinking, wait a minute.
No, this is 81 when they played a small little pub. Yeah. She and I have only been hanging out for like the last 16 years, but yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's man, she's like, and then like the Police, right? She was like, they were on tour and we were gonna go see them at like the big, arena here. You're paying $300 for a ticket. She's like, I saw the Police when they played Bookies, which was just a small little bar. She goes, I was like one of 20 people in the place. And sure enough, we're there at the concert. She's like, all right, we'll go. I've never seen him. I want to go. She's like, all right, we'll go. And so we're there. And then, Sting's up on stage and he's talking. He's like, yeah, the first time we played Detroit, we played a little bar called Bookies. I think there might have been 20 people there. And she goes, see? And I'm like, yeah, all right. You're cooler than me. They'll ever be. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I am not worthy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, all right. The last question was, what was your favorite concert you've been to?
My favorite concert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now is that an Irish concert?
Yeah, I was, but you can pick anything. If something trumps an Irish one.
I tell you, it would have to be Pink Floyd. When Pink Floyd,
all right,
I saw Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and The Wall.
Nice
tours, and so in Seattle here.
Okay,
and their last concert, they didn't come to Seattle. It was back in '93 when they were touring, and I had to go up to Vancouver, Canada, to see them then. And it was just the combination of not just the music, but the special effects and the light show and everything else they put on. It's your head's on a swivel when it comes to that. Most of the Irish, I don't think I've actually gone to a large multiple. I haven't gone to see U2 or any, and I'm too old to see Thin Lizzy. Well, I could have gotten away with Thin Lizzy, but I don't think they came to Seattle a lot. But most of the concerts I go to, like I just saw, I'm trying to think what it's called now. The famous step dancing troupe that started with Michael Flatley.
Riverdance,
yeah. We just saw Riverdance earlier last year. They came to Seattle for their 30th anniversary. I know Flatley went on to do Lord of the Dance, and so he's kind of. I knew there's a split there. So, but I was trying to think of the first one that was around, and we're actually sponsoring a small group that's coming up to the Seattle area here in March. And so most of the Irish. I'm sorry.
What group are you sponsoring coming in?
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to find her name. I wasn't prepared for that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I just did an interview with. Was it Celtic? Celtic Thunder? Is that no? It's
okay. So there is Celtic Thunder. They just came through Seattle, and I got to see them. And I actually was a sponsor for their group. Vox Hiberniae was. Help sponsor them. Hang on 1 second. The group is called Rhythm of the Dance. And they're coming to Federal Way, which is just south of Seattle. It's kind of a suburb, if you want to put our satellite town of the Seattle metro area. And I'm a sponsor for that group as well. And so Vox Hiberniae will be there with the table and some information and stuff like that to hand out to the guests. And of course, I've got some good seats as well. But
but
it's when you say concert, I'm thinking stadium.
Sure.
Sure.
No, it was Celtic, not Celtic Thunder, Celtic Throne. I'm sorry. Celtic Throne, and they're a young troupe, but they are like really, really good. Yeah, Celtic Throne. That's
There's a lot of talent out there, and so
Yeah.
I think they deserve to be
I think
recognized.
they're out of Iowa or something crazy like that. All right. Anyway, so my favorite. Let me tell you what my favorite concert was. I was as far as the Irish stuff goes. We were in. It was with my whole family. It's like my wife and I were gonna go, and and we were like gonna take my mom, and then all of a sudden it turned into like there's 12 of us going. Mom's like, all right, I'm buying tickets for everybody. My Polish mother taking the whole, my everybody over to the island. So we ended up, but my oldest sister and I split off for one afternoon and left and went, and we got to catch Christy Moore playing.
Oh,
He was playing in Listun Varna. So hearing Christy play Listun Varna in Listun Varna, it was just fabulous. So
that's a beautiful area too. I've been to there a couple times. So.
Yeah.
And I got to see Christy Moore in a pub back in 2004. It was just outside of Waterford, and I didn't really know who he was back then, And they're saying, "This is Christy Moore." And of course, he had a stack of CDs and whatnot, and he was.
Yeah.
And I was on a high-end tour, a global with Globus,
Yeah.
So it was. We were seeing all the expensive stuff, and I did 2 weeks with this Globus tour, and then I did 2 weeks with the bed and breakfast and the rental car, and I was sold on that's how you really need to see the country. But I remember seeing Christy Moore, so he's another one of my favorites, just because I was in the same room as the guy.
Yeah, and it was cool because I got to say hi to him afterwards and everything. It was that was a treat, a treat upon treats there. All right, cool. So looking forward to it. So when is the show going to air?
That will be at 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, which I believe will be around 6 p.m. East Coast time.
Yeah.
And of course, it'll be 11:00 Greenwich time, which is where Dublin sit in the time clock scale there. So I'm hoping some of my Irish friends will be, burning the candle a little late since it's on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And be able to catch some of this. I'm really excited about this and looking forward to doing these shows.